Hey guys, and welcome back to another brand new video. Today we'll be reviewing the Studio Series Decepticon 4-pack. And I'm going to mention this now. I do not have Megatron. I will do a separate video about exclusively Megatron, but I do not have him right now. I think my girlfriend has him. But let's jump right into the video. And we'll start with the smallest one. We'll start with Barricade. Okay, so Barricade is an interesting little guy. Right off the bat, he looks super accurate to the movies. As do all of these characters, really. But he is the one that I think really shines in robot mode. Just because of, like, the way he transforms. They were able to put a lot of stuff, like, I don't want to say they slapped it all on his back, but they were able to put a lot of stuff just, like, openly out there. So, he looks super skinny. He's a skinny boy. But, really cool looking. And let's talk about weapons, because all of these guys come with weapons that can be stored in their vehicle modes, actually, which I think is really cool. He actually comes with this little saw blade thingy. I'm not sure if he had that in the movie. I think he did. But you can put that in his hand. And that's pretty cool. You look really menacing with this little saw blade thingy. But that's pretty cool. Articulation, wow, I can English. Articulation-wise, he's pretty, I don't want to say limited, but he doesn't have as much, like, stuff, I guess, that he can really do. That's all that interesting. I mean, he has a couple of things due to his transformation that are interesting, but let's start from the top down. So his head is on a ball joint that can look around. For the transformation, you have this little thing, so it can look really far up or really far down. He has this little butterfly joint thing, also a side effect of his transformation. That's pretty cool. That moves. That's also on a ball joint. He has forearm swivel. This weird thing. I don't know what you would call that, but he has it. Elbow bend, if you want to call it that. His hands open up a little bit. They have a little bit of articulation. If it wants to focus. Hello. Whatever. So that's pretty cool. Come on. He has this little thing. It's just transformation. Hips on a ball joint. He has these little chicken knee thingies, which get some pretty good range forward and backward. His feet have up and down. They don't go side to side, though. That's unfortunate, but yeah. So that's basically all there is for articulation. Let's get this guy transformed and see how he looks. Oh, and by the way, in case anybody is wondering, which I know they aren't, I will be releasing a separate video alongside with this one on how to transform all of these guys, if anyone is interested. And there we go. Now he's in car mode. And, I mean, it looks pretty sleek. I mean, you can't see a ton of panel lines. There's this ugly seam back here, but you can push that together. Okay, in all honesty, I don't really know how to transform him correctly. I think this is the way you do it, but the instructions, since there are 4 on one thing, it's so small, I can barely see it. So I really just fiddled around with these guys. May or may not have broken one of them, just to transform them. So, But all in all, he looks really sleek. Like, you can't see a ton of the robot sticking out, which is nice. His feet stick out a little bit on the bottom there, which actually isn't as big as a problem with guys like these, like Starscream and Blackout, with their parts sticking out from their vehicle modes. It's almost only cars. Like, on my crowbar, he has these little dread things, if you want to call them, and those stick out the bottom too. So I don't know what it is with parts sticking out of cars, but they tend to do that a lot. And as I said, there is weapon storage. There's this little slot down here where you can put that, and there you have it. You can run along and be a machine of death. Yeah, all in all, this is a pretty good figure. For what it cost, this, in my opinion, is actually the better out of this one. Who's the best, if you're wondering? It's actually not Megatron, surprisingly, although he does look really good. In my opinion, it's this guy, not in terms of quality, because he's the worst, but just the overall, like, look of him, and I'll get to him in a minute, but, like, yeah. Controversial opinion, he's the best one. Alright, up next is Starscream, and he, okay, how do I say this? He is the least accurate looking one out of all of them. And why do you say that? From the front, it looks really good. I mean, it's still pretty obvious how he transforms. I mean, like, yeah. But he looks really good from the front. Yeah, just don't go to the back, because he looks really weird. I don't know. Wow, that was a great voice crack. I don't know if they just ran out of time to make him, or ran out of budget to make him, but like this, come on, like, you just got this massive freaking drilled out hole here, and it looks really weird. Like, they could have at least made him slightly a parts former, and just had those little, we call them engine thingies sticking out of the back, and that would have made this 1,000 times better, but nope. Still back there. The colors are also really bland, too, so that's why you display your figures from the front. But yeah, in terms of posability, he's actually not bad for being a flying Dorito. I mean, he has full, whatever you want to call this, arms can go up, they can go backwards and bend and do that, which is something. His hands are on a ball joint. He has this chicken leg thing going on back here that you can maneuver around. He has that. He has toe articulation. That's pretty fun. So if you want to make him look like he's standing up, then you can do that. Also, engineering is pretty good, because they used his landing gear as the back of his feet, so he can actually stand. So that's nice. The head looks really spot on, actually. I mean, that's really nice. Actually, he is surprisingly the least favorite out of my set, even though I love Starscream. I love the character of Starscream, the way he looked, especially the Bayverse movies. Like, I thought he just looked really cool, but this is not the best representation of Starscream that I think they could have done. I think they could have got a way better, especially with the paint job. I mean, he looks pretty bland. I mean, the eyes, you could have done something there. They're just flat, generic red. You'll see in the jet mode that they did a little bit more effort on the paintwork, but like it's just a little lackluster. The details are amazing though. I love how they didn't even really have to add any of this, but the fact that they have all of this right here is pretty cool. And actually on the box artwork, I mean, that's pretty close. Come on, that's pretty close. I have a lot of criticisms, but I'm not going to go through it because I'm trying to limit this video as to how long it is. But let's go ahead and get him transformed real quick. Alright, there we go. Now he's in jet mode. He's a little less sleek than Barricade is in terms of like panel lines. Like, you can tell he's a transformer, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It's still pretty sleek. I mean, for what he turns into, aka Dorito Man, it's pretty cool. Yeah, we're just not gonna look on the underside. I love it when they do this. He has a little cockpit in there. It would have been really cool if they added a little model guy in there, but what are you gonna do? They have a little cockpit in there. The paintwork is pretty good. On all of them, I think. Yeah, on all of them, they have, on their vehicle modes, a little symbol within the, like, symbols that the Earth modes would have. And so on this one, see, there's the Air Force one, and they put the little Decepticon symbol in there. However, one error that they made that I am kind of mad about is just this scene from, what was it, Revenge of the Fallen, where they're looking up, and they're like, that's not an Air Force plane because he's got tattoos all over it, you know? And that's like the defining feature of Starscream. Yeah, that there's a lot of tattoo work going on in this plane. Like, I get that he might not have had it in the first movie, because that's what all these are based out on, but I don't think we ever, like, really spend a lot of time on his jet mode in the first movie. I don't think we even, like, really see it. So, they could have done Revenge of the Fallen and put that on there, and it made it look really cool, but fortunately they didn't. But all in all, he's pretty cool. You can flip the English. You can flip his little landing gear out, and he can sit like that, and it actually folds up really nicely to there. Yeah. You know how I say there's like what's called kibble on the robot forums, where there's all these parts of the car mode all sticking out of the robot mode. He does the complete opposite. From the top, really nice, really sleek. From the bottom, what is this? I mean, I had to go somewhere, but like, I don't know. He's not the best figure, but for the price range, he's pretty decent. I'm just going to go to the next one. Alright, and last but not least, we have Blackout. He is the best one. I will die defending that. He is the best one out of this entire set. And I know you're probably thinking, you don't have Megatron. How can you say that he's better than Megatron? There you go. There's Megatron. It's Megatron. He turns into that. What is that? I cannot for the life of me figure out how to get that in his hands. His articulation is crap. There's Megatron. That's what you get of Megatron for today. But Blackout, he is by far the most accurate looking, the best like, detailed. However, there's one fatal error in this figure, and that is quality control. His quality control is straight butt. I'm not allowed to curse. Dang it. His quality control is garbage. I mean, super thin plastic. The blades are really weird. They like to either bend or break, which is an error that I made on him, where, while I was transforming him, like I said, I'd never actually looked at the instructions to transform him. I was just fiddling around. I mean, I looked at him occasionally to, like, not be lost, but, these parts are super brittle, and I don't know if this is a problem on a lot of people's figures. I know a lot of people's figures either, this sticks out and they can't push it in, or it does this and it just goes all the way in, and, like, I can't get it looking good. But, yeah, he broke the first time I went to transform him. You go and you push this in, and as I was pulling like this on it to push it in, that just snapped straight off. Yeah, so that's fun. The panel's super thin, really cheap feeling plastic, and honestly, I hate to say this from a Studio Series figure, but he feels like someone put a knockoff in my box. Like, from out here, great, amazing looking, paintwork, amazing, looks amazing, like all the detail, spot on, but my god, I feel like I'm gonna break every single time I transform him. He's just so thin, but he's still the best one out of all of them. He's amazing. Articulation-wise, he is really limited due to the amount of crap they just slapped on his back, but he has these that go out. He has a little bit of butterfly joint on his arms there. You have elbow bend, and actually his hands go up and down a little bit, but also his little finger thingies also have articulation. I don't know what his hands are doing. They don't like turn. I mean, they turn down, but they don't like turn this way. So he can really just hit that yes queen, slay Megatron. Like, that's the vibe I get from him. Sorry, that was really cringy. But yeah, his hands are interesting. His legs have another chicken joint thingy, and this is one of the things that I really liked about him, that they did really well on this figure, is in the movie, these little thingies. I don't know what you want to call these, but they're really cool. He has this, he can put his legs completely straight, but then he looks like that. That's a sight I never want to see again. We'll just put those back. But yeah, weapons, he has this thing. That's actually stored on this vehicle mode, you'll see later. But he also has a secondary little thing. They put Scorponok in here. Look at that little guy. And he has a little bit of articulation too. Look at him. He's so happy. Just happy to be here. Yeah. And I need to stop real quick and appreciate the amount of detail that goes into him. Starting with his head. His head sculpt, freaking amazing. Spot on. Like, everywhere is amazing. He has all this detail in here, and I just found out, I think yesterday, that this is actually his wheel. Like, that flips out, and this entire section becomes his wheel. So that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. He has a lot of detail that can almost never be seen, but they put in there anyway. He has that thing on his legs. this hip thing. He has a little chain drive, and that's pretty cool. He has rivets and stuff. His legs are super detailed. Yeah, he's just super cool. So that's all I really have to say about him. Let's get him transformed. Alright, there we go. And he first, no joke, he took me an hour to transform the first time I transformed him. Like an actual hour. But yeah, there he is. And there again, you can see Decepticon logo on him. Which, surprisingly, Megatron does not have a Decepticon, a Decepticon logo anywhere on him. At all. And I get that he's, like, in his, I guess you would call it Megatron's, like, proto form or something like that. Like, he doesn't actually transform into anything. But it's really interesting to see that the leader of the Decepticons doesn't have a Decepticon symbol on him, so that's cool. But yeah, I got back up because he's so freaking big. Super, super accurate to the movie. That's his little weapon thingy that stores onto him. And like I said, when I say he's made of cheap plastic, he's made of that type of cheap plastic. You can see through it. Better light. You can see through the plastic. You can see the plastic on the other side. That's how thin it is. Yeah. Really cheap plastic, but yeah, there's his missing rotor blade right there. And the engineering on him is actually pretty cool because his head sits down inside of there, and there's this little panel on the bottom, and when that goes like that to fold up into it, his head pops out. So that's pretty cool. The underside of him is literally just all of his crap slapped under him, but like I said, it's gotta have somewhere to go, so I'm not complaining because you can't really see it at all when he's like this. Only if you flip him over and they're actively looking for it can you see it. They even added this little dock in the back for Scorponok to go, and he sits in there pretty sturdily. He does have landing gear, and that can flip in there. It's a pain in the butt to get out, though. The only problem I have with this is that comes up a lot, and that these don't like to tab together. Wow, a great voice crack. These don't like to tab together very well. They originally used to tab together really nice, and it was pretty smooth transition, but over time, that is, I don't know. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about these figures. All in all, they look pretty good. They are a pretty good set. The set was about $100 for these guys for the entire thing. I got it on sale, so I think the actual cost of it is like $150. But I got $50 off for it, so that's nice. Really well engineered figures, just the quality isn't all that great. He feels really cheap. He feels a little bit cheap, but still like a Studio Series, and he's just a straight up Studio Series figure. I think he's literally just a repaint of the Studio Series that they gave us, just without Frenzy. They didn't give him Frenzy, which I'm sad about. But yeah, like I said, I will do a separate review on Megatron once I get him back. And I will be making a video on how to transform all of these guys. But that's pretty much it for this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe. And you know what? Today, I'm feeling a little spicy, why don't you hit that notification bell? That way you'll be notified if I release any new videos. I'm going to link this at the end of the video on where to get these. But that's it for today. Bye.